How you doing, Warriors? How you doing, Warriors? This is Shogun, and I today is a great day for me. It's all about how I learned that life doesn't happen to me; it happens for me. But before I get into that, what I would like to do is answer a question. And it's funny because I thought I would get this question like years ago. Why is it when I teach somebody, I call them warriors? Why is it when I start my videos, I say hello warriors? And it all goes back to when I had my martial arts school. Before anybody put on their white belt, we had a discussion. And I said, when you put on that belt, you're no longer a little kid, a little girl, little boy. You're no longer just a normal person. You are a warrior, and I'm going to treat you as such. So it's my job to break you, to build you. Now, under those conditions, if you feel that you can take being broken to get rebuilt, put on the belt. And 10 out of 10 times, they put on the belt. So I just always had that warrior mindset of being a step above or a little bit better than a normal person. Banano, how you doing, brother?
Hey, Shogun, I'm doing great. No,
Good,
I was just on a training call over now. I just came rushing over here, sir.
I appreciate it, man. It's always a pleasure and honor to have you, man. Definitely.
Absolutely, man. It's an honor to be on the call today.
And actually, it's funny. We just started, so we're on time. Okay.
Awesome.
I was just pretty much telling them where the whole warrior mindset came and why when I start my videos, I say hello warrior, and you can rewind to see that later. But I told you about that a long time ago, anyway. So today's discussion is life doesn't happen to you; it happens for you. I know as entrepreneurs and people trying to do things that are better, you're going to come across a lot of obstacles. I mean, you've been coming across obstacles from day one, you know, from the time you were born. Obstacles in walking, talking, eating right, you know, without getting the food all over your face as a little kid. But you've overcome those things and became better. So the way I see it in my head, obstacles are made to make you stronger for your next evolution. Can you agree with that so far, Pete?
Oh, I absolutely agree 100%. There's always going to be obstacles, especially when you want to accomplish something. Once you decide that you want to accomplish anything, the obstacles are going to appear. They like out of nowhere, they're going to be right there, and you have to overcome them. If you don't overcome them, they're going to continue to appear until you do. And then once you overcome that, something else is going to come up. All right, but it's all a test to make sure that you really want what it is, you know, that you want. It's funny when you decide to set a goal, everything is going to start popping up to test you to see how bad it is on that you want your goal. So, Shogun, I definitely agree to what you were talking about.
Good. One thing that I learned, and it was a hard lesson, and hopefully when I say it, you'll get what I mean by it, is that right now you are at where you want to be through the actions that you've had in your past. What I mean by that is every time you thought negatively about a situation and didn't go for it and didn't strive to make it better, you've actually diminished your next blessing. So if you were to finish school, you would be in a better position in life in terms of maybe get a better job or just have a higher education. If you just decided not to smoke, you would be in a better healthy situation. But these are decisions that you have made, that you have learned from. Hopefully you're in good health, and hopefully you decided to later on read. But again, you are where you are, and you're probably watching this because you're not where you want to be because of your past actions. What do you say about that, B?
I absolutely agree with you. You know, you hit it right on the noggin. You are where you want to be. Basically, you're going to always, you know, there's always going to be consequences to what you do, whether you realize it or not. It might not be instantly, and it might not happen right now, but the consequences will appear. You know, you could have done something years ago, and they finally coming at you now. You know, I mean, you never really know when it's going to happen. Your choice to decide where is it that you really want to be. You know, you are, you know, dropping some golden nuggets, and I definitely could agree with you.
You know, one thing I learned is there's two ways to deal with adversity. Um, Adversity was made to make you stronger. However, because of the mindset at that moment that you have made your blessings go further away from you or got closer to you. How many relationships have you been in that did not work out, that you blame the other person all the time? But it's the same thing that keeps on happening over and over again. There comes a time where you have to realize that reality must set in and remind you and let you know that maybe you're the problem. So how you handle things and how you decide to deal with adversity can bring you closer or further away from your next blessing. So this conversation today is to stir something in you to let you know that every adversity that you go through, every adversity that you go past means that you are getting stretched for your next evolution. And I would not follow or listen to anybody who has not been through anything because they don't have the tough skin to teach me. They cannot relate to where I am now. So how can I relate? How can you relate to me and have me build up something like a business or my health or my wealth when you haven't been through the struggle to make yourself stronger? Think of it like this. This is your goal. It's huge. Let's say you want $1 million by the end of next year, and you want that. You're not just going to go and get $1 million. It's just like working out at the gym. You're not going to lift. You're not going to go to the gym for the first time and put 4 45-pound plates, and then you're going to lift it. It's not going to happen. What's going to happen is going to fall on your chest and probably crack your chest open, right? So what you have to do is start off small. You have to start off baby steps. Put the little tens on there, get your little reps. Put more, get your little reps. But that's just how it is with adversity. Everything that you're doing, the hard work, the sweat, the tears, the blood you're putting into everything has to be there so that you can be a better teacher, so that you can relate to your students better by saying, you know what, I've been there. A lot of times over at the church that I went to, we had a saying, you were delivered from something to be a blessing for somebody else, but you had to go through that to understand and speak that language so that you can then help them out of where they are. What do you say, B?
Yeah, that's true. A lot of experience is going to bring you a long way. You can't really relate with people unless you've been through anything. You know, as you touched on something, I as well won't follow someone who hasn't been through anything. How can they teach me how to overcome the adversity when it happens? You know, when I was a sales guy, you know, back, you know, way back when, I wouldn't want to follow somebody who couldn't, you know, make any sales. I couldn't overcome on a bad day, right? So the experience for somebody else that's going to mentor you is going to bring you a long way, and that's how you learn from others' mistakes. Now you can make a lot of mistakes and learn from your own if you want to, but the person that already made those mistakes are going to teach you the things that you should be doing instead of the things that you shouldn't do, which is going to save you a lot of time.
And I'm glad you said about the mistakes because that was my next point. You cannot be afraid to make mistakes. If you do, you will never grow. You will never stretch. You will never be challenged so that you can be stronger. If you fear adversity, if you fear rejection, if you fear anything like that, I say go out tomorrow and face that fear. And I bet you that after you get past it, you realize that it really wasn't that bad, you know? But at the same time, you just stretched a little bit more. Now what's going to happen is the universe is going to see that you're progressing, is going to see that you're stronger, and then provide you with a reward. It's going to provide you with something to let you know that you're on the right path. And one thing that I really am proud of myself that I found out when doing martial arts, I really like overcoming my fears. When I was growing up, when I was in junior high school, I was the one getting picked on. I was the one that went home crying to mom. Mom, he hit me. You know, I was the guy that got his lunch money taken by girls in junior high school. But that was something that I had to overcome so that I can go into the martial arts, so that I can read the books that I've read by great martial arts masters, so that I can do tournaments, so that I can become the man that I am today. But I had to go through something to appreciate who I am. See, if I never went through those things, I couldn't stand before you and say, I am a man because of this, or I am proud of myself because of that. I've been through a lot, but I'm very happy I went through it, because now when somebody else comes to me for advice that has been through that, I am more educated and more self-aware of who I am, so that I can properly help that particular person. B?
Yeah, you hit it right on the nose. Me myself, I've been through some things in my life that I ain't gonna share on this call. But if I bring in somebody that had the same experience, I could relate. Just to touch on something I read a long time ago by John Maxwell. He says you're gonna attract people to you that are similar to you. Whether you know it or not, you're gonna have a lot of similarities. Here with the people that you know. All right. Now I make mistakes all the time. Especially in the current business that I'm in. I've been through the mistakes and I overcome them. Now this way is going to make me smarter, and I'm able to share that knowledge, with the people that I attracted, to my business. Now, if I never been through those things, I'm just going to be speaking and teaching without really knowing about what I'm talking about. At least this way here, when I went through the mistakes, I am able to go ahead and tell people, to do this the right way, instead of doing it the wrong way. Back when I was in school, I really don't remember too much, but I always learned from what the teachers had to say. They were going to teach me how to solve the problems the right way, how to have grammar, write things down the proper way. So I listened to them at that time. They was my mentors, and if I made mistakes, they would teach me, how to make it the right way, because then themselves they know what it is, how to get the job done.
A lot of the times, we do things to protect ourselves. We do things to not feel pain. We do things that we think is what we should be doing when we need to grow. Every time, and I think I said it earlier today, but if you heard most of my videos, I say the same thing, that in order for you to receive bigger blessings, you have to go through bigger hardships and overcome them. To me, there's just no other way. I mean, there are some fears that I still have, but every time I have that fear, I say, well, you know what? This fear is here for a reason. Let me get past it and see my gift and see my blessing. A lot of the times, you don't really go through something because you're satisfied with less than what you really deserve. As human beings, we're meant to be here and be happy and healthy and wealthy. But somewhere along the lines, you lost that. You lost that fight for what you want. You lost that ambition to really go for what you want. And you have to go for it as much as possible, because there are some people out there that need to see your success. There are some people out there that need you to show them the way. And if you decide not to do anything with what you have and what you have inside here naturally, then you've wasted your gift. And there are about 500 to 1,000 people that you did not connect with that gift, that are losing out on that opportunity to witness growth. B, what do you say about that?
I say that, as far as ambition is concerned, I read this book a long time ago, not too long ago. It's called The Secret of the Ages, right? Now it says that we all have this disease. It is called the ambition disease, right? Now when we're young, right, just look at the kids. I have 2 kids of my own, and these guys, they'll do whatever they want to do, right? No matter how much the direction I point them to do this or do that, they're gonna do what they want to do because they have that ambition disease. They are go-getters. They're gonna do it. And as we grow up, things start to happen to our disease of ambition. We go through the negatives. We let us affect us in a negative way instead of learning. I'm guilty of it. I'm sure you may be, and a lot of us are. It happens. It happened to me. When I started going through bad things, the first thing I wanted to do was not learn and quit. Just stop it. When I first started working out when I was younger, it hurt it. I didn't want to do it no more, so then I quit. All right. That disease of ambition is there. It's in us. We just have to rekindle it and then bring it out, right? Because if you have it, you can be able to share that with other people. But if you have it and you lost it and you don't want to bring it back, there's not really much that you can do for yourself, right? You have to rekindle that disease of ambition that's going to bring you to the level, that you want, that's going to help you overcome every adversity. Napoleon Hill said it best: behind every adversity, there is a seed of an equivalent benefit. You must look for it. It is there, but you must find it. You must be open-minded and willing to learn from that adversity, from that obstacle. I just want to share that.
Thank you for sharing that. And no true words were ever spoken. And just realize this, that the bigger the adversity, the bigger the reward. But you have to get past that. And it's really not as bad as you might think. There are some things you can't help. You can't help water being wet. You can't help the sun being hot. You can't help trees growing. These things you can't do. However, what you can help is your own intuitive nature to succeed and to grow and to stretch. Because if you have kids, what is going to be your legacy? Is it going to be, hey, my mom and dad just struggled all their life and they provided me an adequate life? Or are you going to go for something that's monumental so that your kids grow up and say, my mom and dad did so much for me. I needed for nothing. I love them like crazy. I want to be just like them. What's the difference? Mediocre, or taking a chance in life and doing what you're mostly afraid of. And being an entrepreneur is stepping out there and getting stuff done and grinding and talking to people is probably the scariest thing you're going to ever want to do. However, if you have the right mentors, if you have the right people that are in place so that you can succeed, it's really not that bad. What's happening is that you're thinking of all of your past failures and letting that dictate your future, when nothing is further from the truth. All of your past failures that you've either overcome or not overcome were always there to make you stronger for your next evolution. That is your own business, whatever you want to do, whatever in your, like mine was martial arts. I transformed from a martial arts instructor to a martial arts teacher, having his own school, now to an entrepreneur online and still, have my students. But I mostly concentrated on the mental aspect of warriorism. So that's why I said earlier, why do I call you my warriors when I first started a video, is because I just believe in that, having that mindset, which is why my warrior mindset has helped a lot of people get rid of their fears by tackling it, by punching it, kicking it down, knowing that I am here for a reason and I'm going to go past this. So you either get out of my way or I'm going to make you. What do you say, B?
I'd say, man, absolutely. A lot of times when we look at the failure and we haven't learned from it, we continue to see it and it continues to appear. And I'm a sales guy. I've been an entrepreneur now 7 years, and it's been the greatest choice of my life that I ever decided to make. All right, it has changed my life 100% or 1,000%. Now I go door to door selling either some perfumes or cologne to clients, or some type of alternative gas or electricity as a supply. Now, if I have, there's things going to happen. Some days I'm not going to make no money. It's sales. It's business. Now, either I could go and recoup from that temporary defeat, right? Because you're not a failure until you quit for good, for good. I mean, you never want to try to be wealthy or successful in whatever a definition of success that is for you. It could be anything, all right? But if you don't continue, then you want to be a failure. But those times where I want to make no sales in one particular area at one day, at times as a salesman, personally, it will linger on to the next day, and I think, can this happen again? Will it happen again? And what happens? You'll get what you think about most of the time, so it happened again. And there, that you know what? It is my mindset that's going to get me over this failure. Because if I continue to feed myself the same negative, is this going to happen again? That's what I'm thinking about, and it will happen again. And it has happened many times in my career where I didn't make any money, but it's business. It goes up and down. All right, at the end of the week, it all averages out. But a lot of times, some salespeople, they stick and they stay right on that level where they're not making any sales. All right, if you run a network marketing business from your home, you know, you're getting no's from people, and if you wake up thinking today's going to be like yesterday, where I'm gonna just continue to get no's, and you're never going to make a sale, that's what's going to happen. That failure of you not getting no people this day, or maybe you didn't get a person your whole month, and you decide that you say to yourself it's going to happen again because I'm a failure, then it's going to continue to happen. You know, self-talk is very powerful. You know, you can use it in a negative way or in a positive way, right? But I suggest you use it positively and always overcome that failure and look for that learning experience. You know, Eric Warren said it best: there's no good or bad experiences. There's only learning experiences.
It's funny you're talking about that. If you don't know this is a very powerful technique that you should use in every aspect of your life. I used it to find my last girlfriend, to find the job that I have now. I used it to get everything that I ever wanted. You know, it didn't come at me as much as I wanted, but it really helped getting very close to what I wanted and everything. And that is to visualize. Here's how you use it. Before you go and talk to a person about a business, you should play a little film in your mind of that person saying yes, of that person just immersed in your conversation, and that person just following you to the ends of the earth because you approached them and you were that powerful. You have that vision in your head, and what happens is once you go ahead and talk to that person, that energy of positivity, that energy of the whole no factor is gone. It's all about yes at that point. And that's the energy that you want to give to people when you go talk to them. When I go, approach a female, it's like, we're already on our first date. You just have to go ahead and know that. So I guess I got to make it happen. Hello, how you doing, sweetheart? That's the whole thing. When I got this job, I saw in my head me already working at the car dealership. Then reality set in and it became my reality. So as a tool, if you want to not fear, if you want to have that warriorness about whatever you're going to do in life, play a video of it already happening in your life and watch what happens. What do you say about that, B?
Oh man, the visualization is very, very powerful. It's all over, it's all over the internet, many techniques, right? But you just have to play the experience in your mind, and when it comes up and it appears, you're already comfortable and you already know, what to say or what to do, right? And now, a while ago, me, myself, in my current business, I actually visualized myself doing a testimonial on a call. And I was doing this about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, but then one day, something happened. I was asked to do a testimony way before the time that I was expected for it to do it. And when the opportunity appeared, I was like, all right, let's go. I was ready. I did not want to lose that opportunity. And now I'm a regular on doing testimonials on these calls. And not just that, you want to feel the feelings that you will feel when you accomplish that experience. It could be a goal. Let's just say a goal. You know, you want to feel the feelings. If you want $1 million, feel the way you will feel if that income was there, was now already, I mean, a reality, and you already earned that income. How would you feel? You know, what would you do? You want to see yourself spending that $1 million, you know, that you're earning, not everything, you know, but some of it, you know, just buying things and you know, and experience those feelings and do it as many times as you can. If you're a salesman and I mean you're listening to this, you know, or you're watching this here, picture something that makes you happy after you get that negative and you get that no. Right? I used to do this a lot of times when I was down and out. I wasn't getting no sales. It was getting dark. I would see my family. I would see my kids. And kids make you happy. And my kids would make me happy. And I'll visualize it. And I see them laughing, you know, and I feel the feelings of them, you know, giving me kisses, giving me hugs, or just me hugging them and laughing with them. And in 60 seconds, I'm fine. I'm the most positive person on the block. I'm able to knock on any door with more enthusiasm than I had when I first started the day because I visualized myself, you know, in a different situation. That, man, you know, visualizations are very powerful. If you know, that could take you to another level in life if you just start applying it in a positive way, and it can be negative too. You know, I mean, you can see yourself going down something wrong. I really don't know. I don't, you know, picture that about negative things, but it's going to work the same way. You could do it bad or you could do it good. But when you do it good, it's going to bring a lot of happiness into your life.
That's so true. I'm reminded of a time when I was taking my purple belt test. Yeah, I think it was purple belt, and I had to physically fight for the higher ranking belts. And was I scared? Oh yeah, I was super scared. But I knew my destiny, and I visualized me winning. Every time I went to the dojo, I visualized me winning. And then when the day came to take that test, I won. I took down 4 of the biggest guys there, and I felt ecstatic. And if I could do that at a purple belt, take down, you know, 4 black belts, then business is nothing. You know, achieving is nothing because if I visualize, then it's already there. It's already my reality. Now, oh yeah, you got to see it. What I really want to stress with this whole thing is everything that you're going through. Believe me, it's for your betterment. You know, if you're in a bad relationship, if you don't like your job, if you have that feeling of failure, there's a reason. Because you were destined for something better, and you're settling for what you think is the norm, or what you feel is safe, or what you feel is your comfort zone. But I tell you, if you wake up every day hating where you work, because that's happening because you shouldn't be there. If you wake up every day and you dread everything that you're doing because you're not living to your fullest potential, and your fear is stopping you from your growth. And when you stop growing and just stay stagnated, your life, you cannot be happy. You cannot bring joy into the world. You cannot teach happiness and fulfillment to your children. If you're fearful and you're unhappy and you're just saying it is what it is and just throwing your hands up and say, you know, world, do what you want with me, I'll just do whatever, then that's what's going to happen, and that's what you're going to give to your kids. That's what you're going to give to people who want to maybe look up to you. That's what you're going to give to the universe, to the world, I mean, to everybody. You're going to give off that energy. I say today you stop. I say today you evolve. I say today that from now on, when you feel fear, you go for it and you tackle it. I say today is the one day that you have been reborn to be a warrior, to be that person that God, the universe, whatever you want to pray to, has made you for. Believe me, once you take that role and once you just say yes to what's in here, your mindset, your life is going to change. All the fear that you had is nothing more than a way to excel, a way to get you to your next level, a way to evolve. And I'm telling you, if you just try it, if you just go one fear a day or one fear a week, try it. you're gonna go to bed feeling like $1,000,000, and you might get $1,000,000 later. But I'm telling you, once you tackle your fears, the world is yours, and you get to evolve, and your children get to get the benefits, and your friends get to feel that energy of accomplishment, and then they want to accomplish. And believe me, it festers, it germinates within everybody around you, and people you know and don't know will be affected, because somebody that you've affected positively will affect somebody you don't know. And that's the legacy that I think that every human being should be leaving on this earth. What say you, V?
I'll say, whether believe it or not, you have a purpose. There's a reason why you was put here. There's a reason why you're listening to what we are sharing with you. You have a purpose, all right? If you was to ask your subconscious mind, the mind that operates your heart, your blood vessels, your internal organs, that you blink unconsciously and you breathe, you don't, sometimes you force yourself to breathe in and out, but a lot of times it just on automatic. It just does it. If you was to one day, before you go to sleep, and ask your subconscious mind, what am I here to do? What is my purpose in life? And you go to bed believing that you're going to get an answer. The next morning, take a few minutes before you start anything, before you look at your phone, turn the vision on, just lay in your bed and wake up and ask yourself again, what am I here to do? You're going to get an answer, and you're going to know what it is exactly you was put here to do. Whether you believe in God or not, the subconscious mind or not, try this technique and it's going to work for you. But you have to have faith in what we're sharing. If you don't have it, then it's not going to work. All right, you're just going to go there, pray, and it's going to go right out the window. All right. A lot of times, when people going through a bunch of stuff that's negative in their life, they go to prayer and they start praying. One or two things are going to happen. One, they're going to go ahead and pray and think right after they prayed and it was nice and long and wonderful. Right afterwards, they're going to say to themselves, I don't know why I did that. My prayers are not going to be answered. Guess what? They will just answer by the way you voiced it. You said it's not going to be answered. That's the type of result that you're going to get. But if you pray for whatever solution you want in your life, and you believe 100%, that it's going to happen, it will happen. So if you just ask yourself, what am I here to do? What is my purpose here in life? You will find it. All right. I had to find it myself, and I believe I am on track to achieving my purpose. And I want to help others in any way possible. I want to help others reach their potential in life, and I know that without me, they won't be able to reach their potential. Right? I have a long way to work now. Right? But I know I could, I could get it done. I'm helping people now. It's just small portions, right? But I'm looking at it from a mass scale. Just ask yourself, man. You're here for a reason. Whatever you're going through in life, whenever it has been, whether it's good times or bad times, you was here and you're still here for a reason, right? Some people come and go. The more fortunately, new babies come and they go. All right, and then some people, the worst of the worst, last into almost forever. There's a purpose for everything. And just ask yourself that and search for that answer tomorrow morning or the next morning. And just peace and quiet, and you get your answer.
I agree with that, like crazy, and I do it every morning and night. I take about a good 10 minutes and just start asking the universe, or why am I here? Why did you bless me with so much adversity and make me this strong? Why? But I wanted to touch on something you said about what people pray, and this is funny. People pray that they want money. People pray that they want a better relationship. People pray that they want this, they want that. And God always answers, or the universe always answers. And this is how it does. You pray, and you say you want a better way of life financially. It's not going to appear like out of the sky's not going to break apart and all of a sudden a career is going to drop on your lap and then say, there you are. Not going to be like that. The universe uses people. So you probably asked for a way to get out of your financial situation. And I'm smiling because it happens like every time I talk to somebody. They prayed or they wanted or they asked the universe for better finances. And then here a guy like me comes and offers them their own business for under like $100, and they say, nah, I'm waiting for God. He's gonna give me, he's gonna supply me. And I'm thinking that the reason why we're even meeting is because the universe and God put us together to answer your prayers. The reason why you're watching this video is because you have asked God a question about why you're going through some stuff and led you to this video. Chances are you probably typed in something on YouTube and you saw the title to this, life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you, and something just sparked and said, well, I want to see the video. That's God letting you know that he has stuff for you, but you have to go through some stuff. So anytime you ask, always know that it's being received. But here's the trick, and listen very closely. You have to be willing to receive it. There's a lot of times where I blundered my gifts because I didn't receive it. Yeah, I asked. Yeah, I expected it. But when it was there, all the negative stuff started popping up. Oh, I heard about that company. It's a scam. Or, oh, I heard about this particular people. I'm not going to deal with them even though they're making money and making people, other people millionaires. There's something wrong with them. That's my bullcrap that I've learned from day one coming back into my head, blocking my blessings. Because I forgot I asked God for something. And when you forget what you asked for and just say, well, that doesn't work, then guess what? All of the stuff all the gook that's in your subconscious mind will overlap your blessing and cover it forever. You have to understand that what we just said was ask God why you're here. Believe in visualization and go and act as if for the rest of your life. Act as if you're already rich. Act as if you have everything under control, because once you start believing it and acting upon it, then the universe has just no other choice but to give it to you. It's just the way it is. If you believe that much, that, hey, right now, I have a problem-free life. I don't have any problems. Because I know that any adversity or any so-called problems that come into my life are just an opportunity for me to evolve. So bring it on. Bring it on. I'm there. I'm ready for you. Let's do it. You know, because once I beat that, and I will beat that, trust me on that, I get my next blessing. And then I can be an icon of what to do in your adversity and in your life, which is why I love making these videos. That's why I love people like V coming on here and just, you know, filling you up with all this knowledge that you probably never heard before. You know, and if you did hear them, something tells me you got to hear it again because there's something in store for you, right, V?
Absolutely. You know, the reason why I got on this call too, because I want to share what I have studied throughout the course of these 7 years and just give it to those who don't have the time to really study this stuff and want to learn things now, like today. You know, us as humans, we want things now. That's why we got the microwave, we warm up some food and we eat right away. You know, because we like instant gratification. We want things now. And I understand I'm the same way. You know, well, now I have more patience, a lot more patience than what I had before, right? But, you know, you have to, you know, have that, you know, you have to know what it is that you're shooting for in order for you, you know, to get it. Now, before I had this opportunity in my hands, I was looking for an opportunity. Now, while I was looking for it, now the ones that I have, you know, that was brought up to me, you know, might not have been a fit for me. Okay, now I might not be able to say that because I'm the type of guy, I'm gonna jump on it right away. But what was wrong was I wasn't ready to accept the opportunity. I wasn't ready financially. I didn't have the money to invest, or I didn't want to invest in there. Right now, I was seeking for a very long time for an opportunity where I could be able to go ahead and change my life, change my family's life, change my bloodline. But I wasn't ready, all right? And the science of getting rich, it tells you, you know, to act in a certain way. And I was acting as if I was successful. I was walking down the street, big boss, but I was not ready to receive my blessing because I had to invest, to invest. So if you're here then and you're ready to change your life, set aside some income to invest in the opportunity, whatever it is. You want to buy a house, and the opportunity finally presents itself, but you don't have the income, then you're going to miss out and you have to wait for the next one. All right? If you want to invest in the business and something that you see yourself doing, whether it's $3,500, $1,000, $500, $100, $10, $25, whatever it is, be ready for it. Put some income aside, and when the opportunity presents itself, you'll be able to take charge of it, and you can receive and take advantage of the blessing. All right? Or if not, you're just gonna have to wait until the other one comes by, and there will be another one, right? It's gonna be a different one, right? It might not be the one that you wanted or the one that you liked but didn't invest in, but it's gonna be something. But as long as you can see that is an opportunity, you'll be able to take full advantage of it. All right. Now I don't know if you probably heard the story or not, but it's been going around for many, many years. The 3 feet from gold story. The guy went, dig for gold, stopped, sold the machinery, to a junk man. The junk man went to an expert, told him the vein is right there, just 3 feet away from there. And what happened? The expert, just the junk man took millions of dollars of gold, from that, from that site where the guy was digging, and the guy, missed out because he stopped. All right, he decided to quit. Right there, and he lost out on his blessings. Right, and then he ended up, recouping his losses, many, many times over, doing life insurance. All right, but you don't want to be the one to miss out on your blessings. Right, you don't want to take, you want to be able and ready to receive them, when they, we have it in your hand.
Definitely. So we're gonna cut it now, only because there's a lot of information that was said, and the bottom line to this video is really just to inform you that the reason why you're going through stuff is because you're destined for greatness. And until you realize that, you're always going to be the woe is me guy or the woe is me girl. Nothing ever is ever right in my life, and that's going to be your legacy. And we as entrepreneurs, we as human beings, we as people that just want to serve, because my crew lives by the way of the samurai, which is to serve, which is the whole warrior mindset. We're here becoming stronger so that we can free your mind and unlock the potential that you have to be who you want to be, or be who you're destined to be, actually. So any final words, B?
I just want to tell you guys, time flies. It goes very, very fast. This was recorded 2014 of December. I just remember when, just yesterday was the beginning of the year. And just want to move forward. Don't let the negatives, bite you. Let it rock. Let it bounce off you. And, learn from every experience. I'm going to end that day. You'll keep it nice and short. There's a lot of information that was shared here today. And I'd like to thank you, Shogun, for inviting me. You gave me the opportunity to actually, be able to speak on your call. I look forward to doing many more of these. Some of them might be shorter than this one. Very great, brother.
Definitely. We kind of went beyond our little half-hour, 20-minute thing, but it was good. We shared a lot. Listen, after the video, I said the same thing. This life is about being happy, healthy, and wealthy, but don't be scared to get all three, all right? Fight. Become a warrior. Become a samurai. Get out there. Listen, I love you all. Thank you for watching. And if you learned something, share it. If you got something, share it. Follow. Do you follow on YouTube, right? Do you follow, or do you friend, or I forgot?
You subscribe.
Yeah, you subscribe to my YouTube channel. And we're going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff like this. Just so you know, we have a huge event coming up in about 2 weeks in Pennsylvania Hotel. I will be there personally, but you're going to be there, right?
Absolutely.
So if you want to meet us in person, we're going to be doing some videos. We're going to be doing some training. Um, Listen, I want to meet the people who I want to bring out to become millionaires with me, and we're going to party up behind them. Just so you know, we're big on partying. So we're going to have a blast. We're going to record it. We're going to, if you're in the business, we're going to shout you out. You know what I mean? It's going to be two amazing nights, actually. All the details will be on the bottom of this. Don't worry about it. You can read it. And listen, man, let's just do this together. This life is about being happy, healthy, and wealthy. I love all of you. Have a great night or day, whenever you see this.
Bye.